Alright guys, so I'm going to start with my predictions for week 3. I know I only started the channel week 3, but hey, I want to do this anyway, so why not? We'll just start this in 2 weeks in. Jaguars are 2-0, Colts are 1-1, Texans are 0-2, and the Titans are 1-1. So if you see me looking down, I'm actually looking at my phone. I take notes on the games and what I really plan to say during these. So if I'm looking down, it's not that I'm being rude from eye contact or whatever. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't forget to say anything that I planned to. So being that the Jaguars play the Titans in Jacksonville, I'm going to save that game for last. Just because it's just an AFC game. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and start with the Colts and the Eagles. So these two teams, to me, are a little bit similar on the offensive side. You don't really know what you're going to get from the run game sometimes, especially with Ajayi with the Eagles. And, the Colts still haven't really hashed out really what they plan to accomplish on the run game just yet. Both have good quarterbacks. I see Andrew Luck, or saw Andrew Luck play the Titans twice a year up till last year, and he always pulls it out. He's very good quarterback. You just know what you get. You know that you have a chance to win if you have Andrew Luck under center. Carson Wentz, to me, is still a little bit of a mystery. I know he had that amazing season. He got hurt at the end. He was on track to be the NFL MVP, I would say. But at the end of the day, he hasn't really competed in any legit playoff meaningful games. Not to say that he's not worthy. That's just the only question marks I still have of him, as well as, is he going to hit that sophomore slump? So basically with this game, it kind of boils down to me is, what are you going to get out of the defense? I seen the Colts defense come up and really impress me because I didn't really expect much from them. Their secondary is still pretty weak, but they have their stud linebacker, Leonard, the rookie they just drafted, he's just been phenomenal. I mean, unbelievably good. And to me, the Philly defense, which happened to be, I feel like, their strong suit, kind of, I don't know if they got away. I mean, I know that they did lose Frank Reich, who is the head coach for the Colts. So I'm not really sure as far as what that has meant to them, if they're still trying to feel it out or how it really plans to go. Both teams, like I said, as long as they both have their quarterbacks healthy, they'll be in every game. Granted, I'm not that high on the Colts. I think I have them around 6-10, 7-9. But with Andrew Luck behind center, you never know. They could easily pull out They can win some games that they shouldn't win, and they might lose some games that they shouldn't lose. I really didn't see them losing to the Bengals. I thought they'd lose to the Redskins. So it's kind of how it goes. So let me go ahead and tell you what I have for a prediction for this game. I think that the Eagles are actually going to take this game. Let me go ahead and bring these up. I really think that the Eagles are actually going to take this game. What the heck? There we go. Finally. I really think that the Eagles are actually going to take the game 27-20. Like I said, I do have the utmost respect for Andrew Luck. I'm just very skeptical about everyone around him. I saw Ebron has had some good games so far, and T.Y. Hilton, but the run game, the offensive line, those are still big question marks. The offensive line has been pretty terrible since Andrew Luck's been there, and they just never can seem to get it right. And there's a reason why he was out the whole last season. So I really expect the Philadelphia defensive line to really get after him and make his life a little bit more difficult. So, all right, well, let's go on and move on to the Giants at the Texans. So we have the New York Giants playing the Houston Texans. Now, with these two teams, I really wasn't that high on Deshaun Watson. Definitely not as high as everyone else was. I mean, I talked to friends. They said, he's going to be a stud, and I'm sitting there watching the pre-games and everything, and people are, Michael Irving's telling him, singing his praises, saying he's going to be the Michael Jordan of football. I mean, come on. Really? I get it. The guy played 7 historically great games in a row. In those great games, they were 4-3. It's not like they were 7-0. They were 4-3. And I always looked at him and I just said, you know what? This guy reminds me a lot of Colin Kaepernick. This guy's got great arm talent as far as strength. He makes those frozen rope throws. He's very athletic. But I see a guy has a hard time making touch passes. I mean, I know he's capable, But and the same thing with Kaepernick. He just when all of a sudden the game's on the line, it's a close game, and you can't rely on your defense. You need to make some clutch throws. He's just not able to do that. When you're blowing people out, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be that upset if he was my quarterback. I don't think he's going to be horrible by any stretch of the imagination. I just wasn't ready to call him the king. I'm not ready to say he's the Michael Jordan of football. The guy's played. Now he's played nine. He's played 9 games, and he is 4-5 in those 9 games. So yeah, that's it's good. Don't get me, it's good, but I'm not ready to anoint him the next Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. It's just Drew Brees. Any of those guys. Those guys have been around dominated for 10 years. This guy hasn't played a full year yet. Let's just pump the brakes on this a little bit. On the flip side, like I said, I'm the Titans fan, so I watched the Texans-Titans game. The Titans eked it out. I really think that they would cause some problems. The offensive line for Houston is just not good. It's not a good look for them. Deshaun Watson was running around a lot, and he had a lot of fumbles. He had 2 fumbles. He recovered both, but still, it's pretty hard when you're afraid you're constantly getting hit. The defense, J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt's J.J. Watt. He's the guy that quarterbacks have nightmares about. That's just how it is. The guy is amazing. He's a freak athlete. If he stays healthy, he's always going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. It's just how he is. Their secondary is a little bit more skeptical. It's not as strong as it usually is. Last week, Jadeveon Clowney wasn't in. I do believe he's going to play, but I still think. I'm not really sure how this game can go either way. I just have a little bit more trust in. I don't know why I do, but I feel like Eli Manning is due for a decent game. I do like Saquon Barkley. I think he's shown flashes of things that you might have something special there, but you might not. I'm still waiting to see him have these breakout games that everyone has promised me. And it is nice to always have a veteran like Jonathan Stewart behind him. OBJ, he's a home run threat anytime he touches the ball, and a lot of the things that things he can do after the catch, it's amazing. So, again though, the Giants' offensive line, it's the same thing. So let me go ahead and get down to my prediction. I do think that the Giants are going to take this one. I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be 23-20. But I won't be surprised if. I will not be surprised if somehow the Texans get the win. I won't be surprised at all. I think the Texans definitely have the higher upside. I feel like it's going to be a close game and the Giants are going to get out, or it's going to be a complete blowout and the Texans are going to take them out. So that's kind of how I look at for this one. So let's go to I guess for us, if you're an AFC South fan like myself, this is the game that we want to see. You want to see the Jaguars, the Titans. They don't like each other. It's been, they've stewed over it. They played in week 17 last week. The Titans beat them to get in the playoffs. They both, Titans won their one playoff game, lost to the Patriots. Jaguars won 2 playoff games. And they're probably the odds-on favorite right now for the AFC South, if not a favorite to get to the AFC Championship game, which I would imagine. I haven't looked at the Vegas odds lately, but I'm assuming that's what it is. So here is what when I watched the Jacksonville New England Patriots game last week. I was very impressed with Blake Bortles. He took exactly what the Patriots defense gave him. He didn't try to do too much, and he wasn't afraid to tuck and run the ball. Every time I ever watch Blake Bortles, it always amazes me that people think he doesn't have legs, he's always taking off and he's running. He's getting 30-yard, 40-yard runs. The guy is an athlete. He's not, he's not like a Peyton Manning, Tom Brady who can't run, who refused to run. He will run. He's gonna take what the defense gives him. What he's always had problems with, he's always tried to force those throws in, and maybe gets a little anxious and he throws the ball behind a receiver, gets tipped and it's a pick. That's always kind of how it goes with him. But the first 2 games this year, he's been very stalwart. He's just very, I'm going to do my job. This is what's asked of me to do, and I'm going to move forward, right? So I really, really was impressed with him. They haven't even really played with Fournette. Fournette's still questionable. I am going to assume he plays, The Keelan Cole might have the catch of the year as of right now. I mean, he had, the 2 finger. It was like 2 fingers. He clutched it and he brought it down. It's like it's just great catch. What can you say about the Jaguars' defense? They're probably the best defense in the league. Their secondary is probably the best secondary in the league. I mean, they got 2 shutdown corners. My favorite player on their defense is Telvin Smith. Their linebacker, the guy runs, he must run like a 4.4, 4.3. He's super fast. He's super strong. He's a torpedo out there. Nothing's ever open in the middle because of him. Miles Jack is coming along. Like, they're a very, very scary defense. So to get on the other side of this, you look at the Titans, who, I mean, to pull out the win against the Texans obviously is huge for us. We lost the first game against Miami. That stinks. It was a really kind of a messed up game. But we just still don't know if Mariota's starting, Gabbert's starting. It seems like they're having a very difficult time with trying to split the carries between Henry and Lewis. They're not quite sure who they are yet on the running side. Henry starts every game, but all of a sudden, like, he gets his two series, and then Leon Lewis takes the next 6. If he's on fire, that's great. If not, no one's really carved out their role. And of course, Delaney Walker being out, that's definitely a crucial thing. The Titans, the offense has just always been up and down. I really think that if the Titans want any shot at this game, you really need, A, you need Mariota, and B, you really need to just take the chains off him and let him throw just to see what you really have there with Corey Davis. I do think that the guy has potential. I do think that if he played under a different system, he'd probably be a stud right now. He's very fast, he's very strong, very capable. So when you flip it over and you look at the defensive side, I do think that the Titans have the best secondary that the Jaguars are going to play against as of right now. Granted, only been 2 games. But I still think it's the best secondary that they're played against, with Adoree Jackson, Malcolm Butler, and Logan Ryan. That trio. You don't really have any super weak links. Yes, Malcolm Butler's been burned long a couple times, but I might regret this, but I don't really foresee that happening again this week. What does scare me is that the Titans' run defense has been bad. I mean, we were top 10 last year. I think we're giving up like 6 yards a carry, something crazy like that. And it's just been not so good. So what I really think the problem is I think that the Titans would have to score 30 points to be in this game. And I don't know if they could do that against a mediocre defense, let alone a defense like this. But I have the Jaguars taking this 27-14. So let me go ahead. There's that. Okay. So that's what I have. I have the Jaguars beating the Titans, the Colts losing to the Eagles, and the Giants beating the Texans. So again, I actually both the Colts and the Texans game, I have them close. I mean, they're both being decided within a touchdown, so I really wouldn't be surprised to see them go either way. I would be, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely rooting for the Titans to pull up this super upset, but I just don't think we have the firepower. I mean, new offensive coordinator, new head coach, all this stuff. I mean, who knows? Maybe, but it's just very unlikely to me. I'll obviously be rooting for them. So anyway, I just wanted to try to get this video out before tomorrow morning, which would be the beginning of week 3. Well, not the beginning, it was Thursday, but I just want to thank everybody for stopping in. I'm going to try and do a little bit more videos, probably do more during like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, try to get some like reviews of the games, because I really like to dive into those and see like something like I saw Andrew Luck had 2 interceptions, but they were both on the offensive line. He was thrown, one of them he was thrown while getting hit, and the other one, the offensive line never engaged the defense, so the guy had his hands free and he tipped it up in the air, and there's that. So, like I said, if you guys like what you see, drop a subscribe, comment. I'll answer all comments that I can see, get to, and keep an eye out for more film. Thanks.